never smoked crack. I'm childless. Yes, I want my babies back. I've been in jail. No, I've never robbed a store. People want to take from me. Yet, I'm very poor. The home I'm from was never broken. Peers I grew up with, all well-spoken. I have my bachelor's degree. I'm not joking. It's a piece of my life. It's just a token. Life's hard. And I like to keep it that way. Yeah. You know, some people, when they have to use the bathroom, they see a bathroom, they use it. Me, I hold it. Until I can't possibly hold it anymore, and then by that time, there's no bathrooms around to use, and that makes life difficult. And apparently that just works for me. Take guys, for example. I mean, some people are like, oh, girl, he is fine. Did you see his eyes? Oh, my gosh. With me, it's, oh, he is so freaky. Wow. I can just feel his anger. Oh, I think he's mad at me. I love him. Oh, my gosh. Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice. Let's get married. Yeah, and we did. Yelling, screaming, fighting. And that was the honeymoon. Yeah, because, I mean, it was a marriage. It was bondage. It wasn't marriage. But, see, I was scared. And I made a decision in fear. I was afraid of being a single mother of 2. You let this happen to you twice? When will you get it? A child needs both parents. Look at you just ruining these children's lives. Well, at least the proposal was romantic. Pregnant. Well, I guess we gotta get married. I accept. Woohoo. Yeah, not a lot of good times there. Keeping your head above water, making a way when you can. Temporary laid-offs, good times, easy credit rip-offs, good times, scratching and a surviving, good times, hanging in a child line, good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em? Dun, 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 dun. Good times, yeah. Yeah, there's no excuse for domestic violence. And that's what the police said when they arrested me. What? And I called them to protect and serve. Oh, I got served all right. Oh, yeah. See, I didn't realize that they were angels sent to rescue me from the bondage I was in. See, I have this friend who, when he was really deep in his drug addiction, he cried out to God and asked God to rescue him. Boo! Arrested, thrown in jail, saved his life. Angels. Wouldn't it be nice if men came with disclaimers like in those medicine commercials? May cause dizziness, constipation, fatigue. Except it would be may cause depression, migraines, mild psychosis. Women with a low tolerance for BS should not date. Women with low self-esteem should consult their physician before romance occurs. Extended use may result in the loss of limbs, freedom, children, life. Please consult your best girlfriends and family before marriage ensues. Yeah. One morning, things went too far. And he wrestled me face down. He was on top of me. His knee was in my back, and his left arm was around my neck, pulling me upwards, squeezing. It was like he wanted to snap my back and choke me to death, all at the same time. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. All I could do was hear my 2-year-old, my 5-month-old at that time, screaming and crying, and I couldn't go to her. And I thought, really? This is how I'm gonna die? Really? And then it must have been God, because I heard a voice tell me to turn my head as far as I could to the right and bite as hard as I could. Saved my life. The mark it left changed my life. All right, ma'am, you're arrested. You know, anything you can say can and will be. Wait. He was trying to kill me. Ma'am, we have a statement that says it was all you. What are you talking about? He has a 5th-degree black belt in martial arts. Ma'am, you bit him. Yeah. On the way to the station, my arm swelled up so big that the handcuffs wouldn't fit anymore. Ma'am, how did that happen? Now we're going to have to get you x-rays, pictures. Yeah, nothing was broken, just my spirit. When I was detained, waiting for arraignment, my only visitor was my sister-in-law. Oh my gosh, how could you let this happen? Why did you call the police? Even he said he wouldn't have called the police if you didn't call the police first. I can't believe you did that. You should be glad you're alive. You bit him. Oh, by the way, I brought some breast pump bags and the breast pump, so just express the milk for the baby and I'll wait. All right, ma'am. Okay. They got you for spousal abuse, domestic violence, which carries about 5 years, but talk to the judge. He'll give you about 3, but you'll only end up doing about 1.5. Wait. Aren't you supposed to be on my side? Wait, ma'am, we got a statement, says it was all you, but he was trying to kill me. Ma'am, we have pictures. I was supposed to just let him kill me. Ma'am, you bit him. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows fall? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for my heavenly home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he, for his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches. For Q&A.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to share a little bit about the current process or where things have been, if you're, as you had, I guess, the last time.
Actually, can we start with Q&A first?
Sure.
That's okay.
Anybody have questions?
Pressing questions? Nada? Oh.
Where were you born?
Where was I born? Pasadena and Huntington Memorial Hospital. Pasadena. Born and raised in Altadena. Thank you. Good question. Yes.
Does your work, do you get your inspiration from your life? Or is your work?
Wow.
Your act?
No. I was reacting to what you said. That's deep because what Jim, thank you.
Or from other?
Jim said impressed upon me because after that experience, yeah, it's like you really start to examine what it is, and it's a daily thing with me. You know, what am I supposed to be doing? So I really feel I need to speak out against domestic violence and want to bring more awareness because what Sarah was getting at, I am still in the process of seeing one of my children. I'm able to see I have 2 children. I'm able to see my son, but I'm still not yet able to see my daughter. And through this whole process, it's been a blessing and a curse. And the blessing is because I pretty much went to private schools all my life and was kind of sheltered. Spent 1 year in public school. But I mean, it's been like a wake-up call. You know, you hear the biases and how there's prejudice and everything, but I mean, witnessing firsthand in the court system the bias against women and racially. I mean, I have 2 children, 2 different fathers. One is white, one is black. In the court system with my son's father, who's black, I mean, it was like, no problem. Yes, you should be seeing your son, and da-da-da-da-da. But going back in the other court with the white father, I mean, he just was saying the same thing. No, she shouldn't see your child. And the judge is like, well, not even monitored visits, really? I mean, the judge is like asking him, and it's like, what is going on? Really? So it's been really interesting. And I thought it was just that particular court, maybe, that was just corrupted in a lot of ways, because there were a lot of people affected, even fathers that were affected by this particular court. But apparently, I mean, women who don't even know me. This woman came up to me. I was in a restaurant with my son, and just out of the blue just started talking to me about her experience in court with her children. I mean, that just doesn't happen, you know? And I'm asking her what court was this, and it was like San Bernardino or something. And I'm like, really? And she's just like, yeah. So she, in her case, she gave up because her children were eventually turned totally against her by the father, and is at that age where he can decide if he wants to see the other parent, and he just basically, so.
Do you cook to your children, and how old are they?
Do I talk to my children, and how old?
Do you cook to your children?
Do I cook for my children?
Yeah.
Wow.
How old are they?
Yeah, okay, well, my son is 16. My daughter is 10. I have not seen my daughter since 2007, so I do not cook for her. And my son, I have cooked in the past. I do. The relationship with his father and myself is very good. I mean, we've known each other since high school, but it was just, I don't know, where it got really messy is he got mad at me and aligned with my daughter's father to come against me, and it just was really nasty. So, but I mean, he knows me, so he, you know, so I'll tell him these things like, do you think I would, because what happened, just briefly, is when I lost custody completely in the court system, I still had visitation with my daughter, like 3 times a month. But then I started to see marks, evidence of abuse on her. I tried to call abuse hotlines, but then when the conversation got to, well, where is she now? Well, she's with him. Well, why is she with him? He has custody. Well, why? Well, I have a, you know, spousal abuse domestic charge against me, and it's like, oh, well, we're sure she's fine. And that's pretty much, my credibility was shot. So I would see this stuff happening to her, try to work it out in family court, put it in the little documents, but then he's able to see it and punish her for speaking out. It's a horrible cycle. So children kind of learn not to say anything and try to, so it was just really ugly, and I felt responsible because I made the choice in choosing the men that I chose, and went to the police. They weren't trying to help. So at a point, I took my children. I broke the custody order, drove from here to New York, never done that before in my life, but I just felt like, you know, I felt like it was a God thing. That's all I can say. I felt like I couldn't just ignore. I had gone through my life ignoring and denying so many things, and this was like here. And I just had to feel like I could look at my children and say I did everything in my power to try to fix the situation. So I did. I took both of my children and to New York, spent some time in jail in Rikers Island before I was extradited to Linwood. Tried to fight for an investigation to happen and all this, but they kept telling me, no, you got to work it out in family court, and it was like this catch-22. I was just there. But they said when a parent has custody, they can say no to the police, that they don't really want you to question the child, something strange like that. So that's what happened. Yeah.
Does him or his family have money for an attorney that they got?
Um,
That you didn't
he
have?
did at one time have the money for an attorney. And that's what happened. I mean, I spent all my money on attorneys and tried to fight it out, and yeah, I lost money and actually lost a place to stay, and I did end up homeless because I was released from Linwood County, you know, and had nowhere to stay. I mean, I could have stayed with family, but I felt like I needed to experience this journey for real, like what other women go through with this.
Which dad did you get in the thing with?
Which what?
Which dad did you get in the fight with that you bit?
Dwight.
Oh,
Which one?
yeah, the Caucasian one. My son's father, who's black, when we were in high school, we had a messy relationship where it did get physical and all that. And, but by the grace of God, I was just like, yeah, I can't see myself married to you. This is crazy. But with my daughter's father, it was at a time in my life I lost my mother, just lost my mother like maybe a year or two ago before that. And my father became missing soon after that. I'm an only child, so it was a lot. I wasn't processing. I didn't have time to like grieve. I had a child. I was a single mother. We had to figure things out. So when my ex-husband came in my life, I mean, I was like, I just was like, have all control, you know, because my life is not working the way I'm trying to do it. So I literally, he was my idol, basically. And yeah, I gave over. I lost myself, literally. Yeah. And I think postpartum depression had a little bit to do with what helped escalate that situation too, on my part.
Did you go to jail, and is that what it took for you to like break away?
You know what it took? Well, when I almost lost my life, like Jim was saying, I mean, that made me wake up to God. I mean, it's like, wow, this entity is trying to love me and help me, and I've been ignoring it all this time. That made me wake up to, okay, and I kept hearing divorce. But still, it was hard because I still had that mentality from being in an abusive or unhealthy relationship where I second-guessed myself all the time. So I heard divorce, and I'm like, no, because no, you just don't do that. You get married, you stay married. And then I just kept, when I was waiting for the arraignment after that, you know, I was away from my baby who I was breastfeeding exclusively 5 months. So I'm just thinking, what's the quickest way to get back? What's the quickest way to get back? Okay, I'll just get therapy. I'll apologize to him. All these things. But then when it finally got to the point where it's like, no, we want to lock you up, okay? And if you want to fight this, you're still going to have to go to jail to wait for your court date. That's when I just freaked out, went to the corner and was still and was like, okay. And then I heard divorce again, and then I just made up in my heart and mind, like, yeah, okay. And then that's when I heard community service. So then I went back to the public defender and said, what about community service? And I had to actually kind of fight her on it. And then finally she's like, okay, I'll ask. And then I got it, but it came with a restraining order, it came with 5 years probation, came with the classes, but I didn't care at that time. But I still remembered my promise, which was get a divorce, get a divorce. So the honeymoon period started to happen when I wasn't around, you know, and I'm talking about divorce. All of a sudden he wants to get back with me, you know. Well, no, you don't mean divorce, you don't. And it was kind of hard because I really felt like, you know, the promises that are made, which is, you know, you leave me, I'm going to take the children, or I'm going to get custody. And I just felt like if I didn't stay with him, I probably wouldn't be able to see my child. And it was one of the hardest things I had to do. But I had to. Yeah.
How long were you homeless, and how long did it take for you to get your son back?
Good question. 2007, April 4th is when I was released. And didn't stay homeless for too long. I stayed in shelters, I'd say for a few weeks, and then I was moved into what's called an SRO, a single room occupancy hotel, had a room there, And then I got moved into the Hayward Apartments, which is where I live now. But April, I think it was August when I started moving forward with trying to see my son. And a friend of mine was helping me. He wasn't a lawyer, but he worked in a law firm. And he was all about trying to help his friends and help to do it as much outside of the court as possible. So it's funny. So when I was trying to make moves to see my son, calling his father was just not trying to hear it. And then actually opened up a case against me. An OSC, order to show cause why I should see my child. Basically saying I shouldn't. And which was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because that brought us before the judge, and it was quicker, and the judge was like, well, no, okay, she's gonna see her child, even if it's monitor visits, so let's just figure out how this is gonna happen. But yeah, it happened pretty quickly after that. And I got hopeful, because even that judge was like, well, maybe when the other judge in the other court sees what happens with this case, they'll be more moved, since you took both kids, you know, to let you see your child in that case. The other judge didn't really want to do that.
Who monitors the visits if you did have to get monitored?
There's different ways to get monitored visits. The court, when they order monitor visits, there's a service that they specialize in monitor visitation visits, and you do have to pay, and you have to pay a fee, and they have a person paid to be that person staying throughout the visit with you and your child. So it's really humbling, humiliating. It's a humiliating process, but with my son's father, again, he would have to pay and I would have to pay, and he's like, he's kind of very good with his money, very careful with his money. So he kind of sped up that process with, it's going to be okay. So we kind of didn't need a monitored visit for long before he was allowing me to be alone with Manny and taking my son. Because I live in downtown and he lives in Pasadena area, Altadena. And so we have a very loose, casual, but he stays in, this father keeps contact with my daughter's father. They're friends still, which is good, because that way my son can still see his sister, and I can know how she's doing through my son. And I know she asks about me because he tells me. The fathers don't, but.
How did you get introduced to us? Was it through Lisa?
Through here? Actually, I lead a theatrical group, and Sarah was part of it one quarter. Yes, and we also have an open mic night for the community. And you probably haven't seen the side of Sarah. But she was up there performing. I think we have some video.
Keep that on the DL.
So she just actually suggested it. She said, what do you think about doing this? And actually that's what I want to do, and I have in the works to do a one-woman show, because it highlights these areas that aren't really talked about, and it really is sad to me that it's so much in the news about women dying at the hands of unhealthy relationships with restraining orders. And then it's just almost like we're desensitized to it. Oh, it happened again. Oh, yeah, it was, and that's all that happens. And there's kids involved, and it's really sad. So I just really want to put as much light and attention to it as possible. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I was telling Sarah that I want to have an event where it's theatrical, that you can share stories, and I have some pieces I've written in one act as well that it would be nice to perform in the community in downtown.
Awesome.
Really great. You're very effective.
Okay, it must have been stretching our rays, wanting to ask if something happened. Okay, thanks
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.